Hello there, friends of the internet type thing. I don't really know how to lead this off, but I'm coming here today with two, count 'em, two new reviews. First one will be posted today, second one will be posted tomorrow, or actually whenever I get to it. And so anyhow, my first review is on a movie I saw last night, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I am an avid comic book reader, and I saw this with both my mom and my dad, neither of whom read comics. And and first of all, the two big issues that I have with this with the movie as a whole is the fact that it tried to shoehorn in too many characters at once. Like, seriously, you had Rhino, and then you had Green Lantern, not Green Lantern, Green Goblin, then you had Electro, and you had to include origin stories and stuff for all three of those movies. And granted, this is a very long movie. You will think it is supposed to end when it doesn't end. That's another issue with the movie. It is too long. And again, they could have cut out the subplot with Peter's father, and that would have been just fine, given how this amazing discovery that they find a genetics lab inside a abandoned subway tunnel. How could that be anything but awesome? Seriously. It's like, and then they don't ever mention it again. It's like, seriously, I was kind of thinking that, that Peter would use that as his new Spider-Man lair, so that way it would be really hard for him to accidentally be exposed by his aunt or one of his friends, or really anyone that comes over. And honestly, I feel like they could have just cut out that entire subplot, because not only did it go nowhere, it offered nothing to the story. And those of us that have read the comics, like me, already know what happened to Peter's father. And now granted, I kind of like where they went with it. And how, little changes that they made. But it still doesn't make up for it. Alright, done with that little rant. Now, for the good part, this is what I did like about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I like what they did with Electro, because, again, if you read the comics, Electro is 1. A complete moron. 2. A wimp. Yeah, I know. Last thing you would expect from a guy with lightning powers is for him to be a wimp. But somehow they managed to pull it off in the comics. And then thirdly, they always have him working for someone. And they didn't do any of that in Spider-Man 2. They make it so that way he is incredibly badass. They also make it so that way he doesn't work for anybody, and he's actually intelligent. Now, granted, he's driven insane by the fact that for some reason there's these voices in his head, and that's never really explained. But I don't know. Apparently, getting turned into a solid form of electricity turns you crazy, I guess. I don't know. We don't really have anyone to test that on because it's never happened. I can hope that never happens in real life because that would be awesome. If that never happened, let's just all agree to make that not a thing. And I'm rambling. But the other thing that I liked about it was Peter and Gwen. Alright, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone just did a great job with the on-screen chemistry between them. You know, seriously, even though I knew what was going to happen because, again, read the comics, I seriously wanted that part to be changed. But they didn't, and I was like, I almost cried. And that usually never happens when on-screen characters die. But, you know, the acting made it work. Also, the fight scenes. Whoever they have doing the editing and the cinematography for this, you get a "You Are Awesome" award from me. Because it's really the cinematographer's job and the choreographer's job. Yes, there are fight choreographers, people of the internet, and not just for stage productions. And it just works. And also, about what they did with Green Goblin, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how I feel about that because, well, I don't really remember watching the original Spider-Man movies. You know, I was a little kid at the time. But I like what they did with Harry. And also another character that shouldn't even have been there is the Rhino. Because, seriously, it's like, what's the point? You know, he's just gonna get shoehorned into the third movie because, after all, this is a Marvel movie, and lately those things have been making buku amounts of money. But then he's just gonna get sidelined because, who knows? They might pull a Spider-Man 3 and put Venom in there. And they might make him awesomer. Yes, I know awesomer isn't an actual word, but just go with it, alright? But enough of my rants. As someone that has read the comics, I'm actually going to give this 2 different ratings because instead of just my perspective, I also got my mom's perspective on this because she actually stayed awake through the entire film. And for a person that has read the comics and knows the stories, I have to give this movie an 8 out of 10. But for someone that hasn't read the comics, it's going to be a 6 out of 10 because there are a lot of holes, as I found out. Not just the why don't they. Also, the movie kind of felt like it was all over the place. And well, they do have, and you know, it's like, oh, first is Peter, then it's Gwen, then it's Peter, then it's Gwen, and then oh hey, this is a Spider-Man movie, yeah. Fight with the lizard, no wait, not with the lizard, that's a different movie. fight with the Rhino, fight with the Rhino, or fight with Electro, or any of that. But special credits have to go out to Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone for their performances. And honestly, I just hope they find someone as good as Emma Stone to play Mary Jane in the next movie. And also to Jamie Foxx, who played Electro. And but seriously, they real. But that's it. That's my opinion. Goodbye.